Hold on. Okay. Listen, sorry about that. I know I'm a little bit late, but here we are. Don't say anything. We are on colored people time, okay? I am hot. Why am I always hot when I see you guys? Hold on. Give me air. Let me see. Can I feel the air from here? Yeah, it's good enough. All right, then. Here you go. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. I'm happy to see you all again. 17 days. You're telling me. Good evening, day or night. It is my morning, so I am getting my morning chai, my morning tea. So it is morning for me, but nonetheless, I know Zilij. Like I said, prepare yourselves. Everyone get prepared. Amira is running late, like Kamala was to her Fox News. You saw that? Did you see? And did you also see how much she deflected off to Trump? The interviewer was asking her things about what she would do, her issues, and blah, 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 pressing her on things. And what did she do? Well, Trump is on the ballot, and Trump is the dangerous one. And Trump. I'm like, girl, I think she has dreams of Trump. I do. I think that they are secretly in love with Donald Trump. They just don't want to admit it. They like orange people. And they can't lie. Hi, Aaron. How are you, Aaron? I know, Brian. Okay, you are bringing up such a good point because that is so true. That is what I'm thinking too. The government is, okay, so when we say that the government is turning on the people, this is what we mean. 17 days until the government deceives or tries to deceive the American public. So believe it or not, plans are already in the making. They are already making practice runs. They're preparing places for disorder and chaos. If you guys know where you vote in person on the day of the day, on election day, go to those places 10 days before the election. See if you don't see what I see. You know what I'm talking about? Go there and look how much stuff they have set up for chaos, disruption. So what is it called? It's not social, it's societal disorder or something like that, whatever you want to call it. They have stuff set up already. They know it is going to happen. I want his baby. Fix. Go to the naughty corner. Go right. What is going on with you guys? Fix. Get it together. You over here priming your eggs. Carrie, is Carrie here? Carrie, that's your problem, Carrie. You need to handle that. That is your problem. Oh my goodness. Talking about having people's babies and such. Oh my gosh. But have you guys seen Barron Trump? Barron Trump has turned into GQ. And I know he's young, but yeah, he went from being this awkward, shy boy to being this 7 foot tall hair. He parts his hair to the side and he brushes it over like that. Like, I don't know how to say it, like wispy like that. Oh my gosh. He's turned into a GQ model. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. Handle your stuff, okay? Handle your woman. Handle the stuff, okay? Okay. I'm looking at your guys' things. Oh, Larry says Biden-Harris authorized the military to delete rioting Americans. They claim it is to protect us from illegals who may riot. You guys know they would never, ever hurt a hair on their sweet, sweet illegal immigrants. They need them too much until after November 5th. But nonetheless, they need them too much. When they talk about illegals, they're talking about me and you. Me and you. No, I'm Irish. Immigration is destroying us too. What? In Ireland? Wait, do you guys have an immigration problem in Ireland too? Oh, see. This is it. I'm telling you, all of the Western nations, all of the white nations, and here I am sitting here as an Arab living in a white nation. I'm like, all those darn Browns and Spicks and towel heads and everybody, all the Jeets and the Preets and everybody. And while I'm sitting here being one of them. Oh well, it is what it is. Look, just because I am doesn't mean I can't call out the problem, okay? I assimilated. They didn't. Fionn says, if you were married to a chomo, you'd dream of Trump too. It's too early for that type of it's a little bit too early in the morning for this. I'm gonna let that go for now until you said Irish imported 1 million. 1 million what? 1 million what? Are we talking about who? Indians? Arabs? Africans? Who? Zelich says it's most Western nations that are dealing with mass illegal immigration. Now, we have to give it to Poland, Hungary, I believe the Czech Republic, and a few other nations that have said hell to the no. They will not be accepting non-Christians or people that aim to change their nation into something that it wasn't originally. There's so many nations out there that are based in saying no. We if you come here, you need to assimilate. If you don't assimilate, then you don't belong here. Says Arabs are white. Y'all do genocide on us. We are not white. We are Caucasian. There is a difference. There's a difference between being white and being Caucasian, because Indians are Caucasian as well. Well, the northern Indians, I believe, that are closer to the Caucasus Mountains, they are considered Caucasian. Turkish are Caucasian. What's it called? Uzbeki is Caucasian. All of these nations are Caucasian. Azerbaijan, Caucasian. But we're not exactly what you consider white. We're Caucasian. There's a difference. And yes, whites are Caucasian, but not all Caucasians are white. We're Caucasian. I know. It's hard to explain because I know in America, you guys have this thing of like either you're white or you're black or you're Mexican. And that's not how it works. That's not how this works. I am a Caucasian. I am not white. I'm a Caucasian. But anyway. It says, Poland and Hungary, remember what happens when you let foreigners in. Hi, Neil. He says, but don't you always point out that Arabs are white by definition? When I say white, I meant Caucasian. But yeah, Caucasian. There are white Arabs, but we're Caucasians. I'm not going to get into this conversation with you all. This is not a stream about race. This stream is about Italy. Italy. If you guys do not know, Italy has passed a new law saying that surrogacy is no longer legal, which means that, am I 15 minutes into my stream yet? No, I have 2 minutes left. Okay, once we're 15 minutes in, then I can say what I want to say. Samael, you can't stop me. But anyway, Italy is saying that surrogacy is no longer legal. They passed a law that this is not a thing anymore. And that means that people of the rainbow sort cannot have children. They can't, many of them cannot. And a lot of the LGBT in Italy, the whole LGBT community over there, they're saying that this is homophobic, that this is strictly aimed at preventing the you understand, the rainbows, the Skittles, is preventing them from having children. That's what they're saying. They're saying this law is specifically aimed at them, and they take it as an assault on their community. Here, I have an article for you. Let me pull it up. One second. I got you. Here we go. The anti-surrogacy law. And I will give you guys a quick, here we go. Now, this happened in Rome. So they passed the West's most restrictive law against international surrogacy, threatening would-be parents who use birth mothers abroad with jail time and severe fines, in a move that critics say will chiefly target same-sex couples. Or in other words, I'm not 15 minutes in yet. Never mind. So it says domestic surrogacy was already banned in Italy, as it is in some other countries as well. But the amended Italian law goes even further, classifying surrogacy as a rare universal crime that transcends borders, like terrorism or genocide, essentially. The law that was passed last year by the lower house and effectively ensured by the Senate vote on Wednesday also criminalizes work by Italian citizens employed as doctors, nurses, and technicians in foreign fertility clinics that facilitate surrogacies. So that means there is no way in heaven, hell, or otherwise that you are going to be able to use women for their eggs, use men for their sperm. You guys are not going to be allowed to do that. And the LGBT community is offended. They're offended because they think that they should have the right to use a woman for her baby, have her go through the process of pregnancy and nurturing that baby. And then once that baby is born, to effectively remove said mother from the baby's life and replace it with two daddies. So they think that they should have the right to do that and that it is a crime to take that away from them. No, I think this is a wonderful thing, because one thing, you do not take a baby from its mother and replace that woman with another man and say, now you have two daddies. Okay? Two daddies. It's the same thing essentially. Because now they're making men lactate. They're making men lactate. And this is where I have to say, what is the definition of milk? What is the definition of milk? Because whatever is leaking from a man's nipple, I do not consider it nutritious milk for a child. I just don't. Whatever is leaking, just because they're leaking something that's a fluid and it's white, does not make it nutritious for a child. Because there have been men who have taken these pills that injects a hormone into them that makes them lactate, like women do. But whatever is coming out from a man is not the same milk. Okay? That's all I'm saying. It's not the same thing. And you have these dirty, filthy, perverted men popping their nipples inside the pure mouths of a baby and forcing said baby to suckle. I think that this is a sex crime. Personally, I believe that this is a sex crime. I think that it should be seen as such, because your nipples aren't made to be functional like that. Absolutely disgusting. Just absolutely. No, Zio, what do you mean insane? What do you mean? What is insanity in the first place? We don't even know. We don't know what insanity is, yo. There is no such thing. It's called 2024. When you see the definition of insane in the dictionary, it's called 2024 and beyond. Infinity and beyond. That's where we're at right now. Yes, I agree. But like I said, what is the definition of milk? Because how are they testing that fluid that comes out of these men's nipples and classifying that as milk? Listen, it is not the same thing. What comes out of the breast of a woman when she has the hormones of pregnancy and mother hormones and all of that, what comes out of the breast of a woman is specifically engineered for that baby that she just birthed. Because the woman's body knows what that baby will need, and it makes it accordingly inside of her body for her to nurture that child. Whatever a man is lactating because he took a bunch of hormonal pills, whatever he's lactating is not milk, it's not nutritional, it's not right. It is pervertive. And I know there's men out there who want to know what it feels like to be a woman, okay? But what you're doing with children is a crime in my book. It's a crime. You pop your man nipple in the mouth of a child, off with your head. Off with your head. Off with your head and let it roll. That's it. That's it. Off with your head. You popped your man nipples, and you know man nipples have hair. I know some female nipples do too, but man nipples, you guys know what a man nipple looks like? There's not even a breast attached to it. It's just kind of a flat thing. It's flat, and then so you put in this flat chest inside of the mouth of a child. No. Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. All right, we'll move on. I know this topic is a little bit triggering. It's a little bit disgusting, but when you actually visualize this, when you actually take a moment and visualize the absolute disgusting things that comes out of this LGBT community, these are I want a flat man chest. A man has a flat chest, right? The flat chest with little hairs sticking out because he's a man. Hairs. Popping that flat chest nipple into the mouth of a newborn baby and forcing said baby to suckle. I see something very wrong in this. I see something very wrong. No, I'm not making it stop because you guys need to know. You guys need to know what's going on. Okay? You see, when I said it the first time, you guys didn't understand why I was so disgusted. Huh? But when I explain it, now you guys are like, oh my God. Yeah, exactly. Because when you see it in action, all right, moving on. But Italy has said anti-surrogacy. They said no. Men who are in relationships with other men will not be allowed to have women birth children for them. And so the same for women as well. Women who are, I'm not going to use any terms, but women who are indulging in arts and crafts, tools, mainly. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. I swear I'm not. Okay. But women who are indulging are not allowed to take the sperm from men and have babies with that as well. So I think this is wonderful. I think this is extremely wonderful. I'm so proud of Italy. Thank you for doing something. And here it is. Oh, there's some quotes. Oh my gosh, there's quotes because there's a bunch of happy customers out there. All right, here we go. Here's somebody. Oh, this is a senator in Italy. She said, "It is nature that decides this, not us." The next quote says, "We wish for this example to be followed by other countries." She added, "This is a civilized law that safeguards the child." finally someone that thinks about the child. I wish America would do the same. This is a civilized law that safeguards the child, but also the woman, the mother. Since we believe that surrogacy essentially reduces a woman to a reproductive machine. Yes. Yes. Yes, Italy. Yes. See. Yes, Italy. That is what I'm talking about. Italy, you have outdone yourself. I am so, you know what? I think I need to plan a trip to Italy. I need to go to Italy. Whew. This is a civilized law that safeguards the child, but also the woman, the mother, since we believe that surrogacy essentially reduces a woman to a reproductive machine. Because what is a woman anyway? What is a woman? We are so lost in America that we don't even know what a woman is. I have no idea. It could be this, it could be that, it could be, if you feel like a woman, then you are. What does it mean to feel like a woman? Huh? Feel like a woman? I don't think I've ever woken up and said, today I feel womanly. No, I just am. Okay. But anyway, the far right senator that said this, who is says one second. A single mother who never married the father of her daughter has vowed to amplify traditional family values and uplift traditional women in the realist sense. And I think she put that at the end because she wants to say no chameleons. She's like traditional women in the realist sense. No chameleons, please. Chameleons, stay home. Her government and its backers in parliament have moved to stop same-sex couples from registering their children's birth certificates and have sought to curtail gender-affirming care for minors. I am so happy. You guys don't understand how happy I feel. You guys, usually we're really upset when we're talking about this topic, but right now, I feel so good inside. I feel like, what is the song from the 70s? Which one? What is it? What song? Yeah, seriously based. I'm so proud. I don't know. I feel like you know how you have parents who have their children who do things and you're like, oh my God, that's my baby. That's how I feel right now. I feel like that about Italy right now. Of like, Italy, you've made your mama proud. I'm very happy. I'm very, very proud. And it's a shame. You know what it is a shame about? It's a shame that something so simple like protecting children and mothers is something so rare today that I get this excited from these simple laws that basically say perverted behavior will not be tolerated. Just one country saying perverted behavior will not be tolerated here, especially putting the nipples of men inside the mouths of babies. Those things will not be tolerated here. And that is something that should be so basic to every nation that I should not be surprised when this is said. But I am, because there's so much filth today. There's so much pervertive behavior going on and being not even going on, but being supported and backed and laws enacted to protect it, that I'm surprised and I'm excited about one country saying we will not allow man nipples inside of babies' mouths anymore. It's crazy. But says 1997, that song? What are you talking about? What song? Oh, I feel like a natural woman. I almost want to play it. Do you think I'll get copyrighted? You know what I could do? I could look up the lyrics. Hold on. Let me see. Who is the singer? Aretha? Aretha? Aretha. Okay. Aretha. Aretha. Okay, found it. Okay, so it says the lyrics go like this. I used to feel so uninspired, and when I knew I had to face another day, Lord, it made me feel so tired. But before the day I met you, life was so unkind. You're the key to my peace of mind. Because you make me feel, you make me feel, you make me feel like a natural woman. I think she's talking about something else in this song because those lyrics remind, it doesn't remind me of feeling like a woman in that aspect. It reminds me of being a woman in the marital aspect of life, not. She says, when my soul was in the lost and found, you came along to claim it. I didn't know just what was wrong with me until your kiss helped me name it. Whew, this song is getting... Whew, I think I might have to hear this song. Now I am no longer doubtful of what I'm living for. And if I make you happy, I don't need to do no more. Because you make me feel like a natural woman. Oh, baby, what you have done to me. Oof. Made me feel so good inside. And I just want to be close to you. I bet you do. You make me feel so alive. All right, so this has to be a song about all right, so the thing is, you know what, when I think about this type of song versus what the am I 15 minutes in? I am. Samuel, you can't stop me. Can't stop me now. When I think about this song and what she's describing here versus what the faggots are talking about, I can see that there's a huge difference in what she means by making her feel like a natural woman. That is not the same as her being confused about her gender and not knowing if she's a man one day or a woman another day. This is definitely an expression that a woman uses when she feels like a man has confirmed her womanly essence, her womanly attributes, her womanly assets. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to a different, let's go with Larry's list. Larry sent us a list. Larry graciously sent us a list. And we're going to go to the list because if we don't, we're going to get in trouble. We are going to get in a lot of trouble. Okay. Oh, Larry. Oh my goodness. Woohoo. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to love this. Larry, you outdid yourself this week. Larry. What? Okay. Even the LGBTQIA plus pedos plus everything sick news is great. Larry, you outdid yourself. Larry. We're gonna have a talk after this. You're gonna stay after class. You did very good. This is wonderful. Okay, are you guys ready? Let's talk about some election news, and then we'll move on to the other juicy news that Larry has provided us this week. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, I am very excited. Okay, here we go. No. Go to the naughty corner. Naughty corner is your friend. Samuel, somebody send him to the naughty corner. No, listen, you guys in English, you guys have these English terms for things that sound so vulgar, but it's so funny the way you guys say it. But he was, this is when a man confirms a woman's essence, her assets, her womanly contributions, feminine. Hey, fix. Listen, you just got out of the naughty corner. You still haven't learned your lesson. Go back. Carrie, do your job. Go back. You still haven't learned, Fix. What is wrong with Fix tonight? She is losing her mind. Okay, let's get to the news. All right, here we go. The Department of Justice is suing states to keep illegal voters on the voting rolls. It has started. Well, it's already started, but it has come to a head now. The Department of Justice, Justin Trudeau, the Department of Justice has been on a courtroom crusade, if you guys don't even know, to help illegal aliens vote in the elections illegally. So here we go. The Department of Justice recently filed a lawsuit against Virginia to keep its state officials from cleansing the state's voter rolls of illegal alien voters. This newest attack is preceded by similar attacks by the Department of Justice against Arizona, Alabama, and Ohio. All states that are actively cleaning up their voting acts. So because these states are in the process of cleaning up their voting acts and all the voter rolls, the Department of Justice is saying, no, you will not take off the names of those illegal aliens. It makes me think that the Department of Justice is kind of a hound dog for a certain group of people. But one state has striked back. And in the wake of the Biden-Harris administration's attacks via the Department of Justice, the administration itself is facing a lawsuit from no other than, you guys, think about all the 50 states in this country, right? Think about all the 50 states. What would be the first state that you would think of when you would think of a state stepping out against the government? I want to see what you guys say. What is the first state that you guys would think about when you think about a state? Oh, okay. That good guess. Okay. Good. All right. Next. Anybody else? Okay. Now this is Texas. You could say cousin, close cousin, and that is Florida. There you go. Brian, you got it. Florida. Florida has said, hell to the no. Hell to the no. Florida officials are accusing the administration of refusing to verify immigration records so that the state can prevent non-citizens from voting. The lawsuit states that the Department of Homeland Security is mandated to respond to state or local government inquiries concerning a person's immigration status. When approached for comment about this lawsuit, a DHS spokesman and the department, the DHS spokesman said that the department does not comment on ongoing litigations. We're not going to talk about what's going on in that lawsuit from Florida. We're not going to talk about that. It's not real. Florida is just having a temper tantrum like they always do. It's always Florida or Texas. It's always either Florida or Texas. When one state acts out in this country, it's usually Florida or Texas. And I love it. I love it because Florida and Texas are like the bad children of this They're like the bad children. They are the children that you tell them to sit down and they stand up purposefully just to stand against you. You beat them and they still come back for more because a beating is just not enough. They are just Florida and Texas. They are the wild child of this country. Now, next, let's move on to a different topic. In Scotland, now this is another story that you guys are going to love. Okay, you guys know that I appreciate religion. I appreciate Christianity. I appreciate our Abrahamic religions, except one, but I'm not going to talk about that one. Starts with a J, though. Anyway, praying is now illegal in parts of Scotland. Scotland has introduced a new law that prevents its citizens from praying silently within a buffer zone of abortion centers. So if you are close to an abortion center, you are not allowed to pray for those poor innocent souls that are being sent back to the Father by force. You're not allowed to pray for them close to the abortion centers because they don't want that holy energy. They don't want that kind of energy around evil. They don't want it around, because what was happening was the people inside the abortion centers were starting to get fiery feelings on their skin, like there was fire around them because there was too much praying going on. So now the law has been passed that you are not allowed to pray silently within a buffer zone of abortion centers. This means that anyone who attempts to offer alternate solutions to an abortion will be arrested for harassment, alarm, or distress. The buffer clause prevents another problem. I'm sorry, it doesn't prevent it. It presents another problem. Those living within that zone can also be arrested for praying if anyone hears them. This includes churches, schools, and even those praying in their homes. They are all now subject to arrest if they are heard praying. There are reports of people already being arrested for praying silently in England. England, of all places. UK. The West. The West. You would never hear this in Asia, Africa, Middle East, but it's always the Western nations that are constantly being attacked for their religion. And it's always like the Western nations are all supposed to drop their religion, but everybody else, every other nation, every other culture, they're allowed to embrace their religion, have their religion be the law of the land, but not in Western nations. Gee, I wonder why. Could it be because Western nations are white? Could it be because most Western nations are Christian? Could it be because in the West, this is the place where everybody wants to be? And now that we have all of these cultures coming here, they don't want the people that made those nations to continue to have their culture and their religion be the hallmark of their society. That's what we don't want. We don't want that. We don't want that. Anyway, so there are already people being arrested for praying silently in the UK, which is likely where Scotland got this idea in the first place from. But good news, there has been pushback. And there has been religious institutions in Scotland have been pushing back on this new law, citing laws already in Scotland's law books that protect the people from unacceptable behavior, and commended John Mason, the only official who voted against the new law, of course. So that is that in Scotland. And it's sad, it's really sad to see, like I told you guys, all these Western nations that are being told that they need to be secular. But every other religion that comes into that country is accepted in the country. Like, give you an example. In most Western nations, they are tolerant of other people's religion. You want to be Buddhist, there's no problem. You want to be Muslim, there's no problem. You want to be Jew, there's no problem. But those religions are not standing up for the religion of the country that they have migrated to. They want the people who are already there to be secular, which is, it's essentially an anti-Christian war. That's what it is. It's a war against Christianity. And no matter how people want to word it, that's what it is. Every other religion is accepted, especially Islam. And me as a Muslim, I can see that. I can see that wherever I go, I can be a Muslim freely. But Christians can't be Christian in their own Christian nation. People argue that America is not a Christian nation. Christianity was the original religion here. Or you could say, that people say, oh, like, what is the other one, guys? It starts with a P. But you guys understand. These people, they don't stand up for the Christians, but they expect Christians to be acceptable, and I'm sorry, not acceptable, accepting of everybody else. But you're supposed to be secular. You're supposed to be secular. It's a war against Christianity, and we shouldn't stand for it. Let's come back to the United States. Are you guys ready for this one? All right. Here we go. Okay. Back in the United States of America, there have been 2 people who have been arrested for harassing a home over a pro-Trump sign. 45-year-old Timothy Parks and 38-year-old Jennifer Lund were arrested in Las Vegas, and they were charged with battery, assault, and stalking. These 2 parked in front of a home with pro-Trump signs in the lawn and played the infamous F. Donald Trump song to antagonize the homeowners. The F. Donald Trump song, I believe, is that Snoop Dogg? Was it Snoop Dogg who did that song? Or I don't know who it was, but whatever. It's a song, and they say, F. Donald Trump, dun, dun, F. Donald Trump, dun, dun, and all the simps and, the faggots and everybody else in the crowd goes, woo, slay, F. Donald Trump, yes. So it's a really ugly, stupid song, but still, these people, Timothy Parks, of 45 years old, of 45 years, and 38-year-old Jennifer Lund, they were arrested in Las Vegas for parking in front of these people's house and blasting that stupid song to antagonize the homeowners. There's been video obtained by investigators showing 3 men approached the car, one of whom pulled out a gun and aimed it at the car. One of the men, they gave the gentleman in the vehicle of 45 years, they gave him a kiss with their fist. And then he proceeded to put his car in reverse, and he ran over the man's foot and drove away. According to police documents, at least 7 bullets were fired into that gentleman's vehicle during the incident. When questioned about their actions, the woman of the incident said that since the homeowners have the right to display Trump signs on their lawn, she has the right to tell them how she feels about it. Jennifer, that's her name, she then admitted to the police that this incident was not the first time she had parked in front of that home and played the F. Donald Trump song. Jessica, wait, her name isn't Jessica, her name is Jennifer. Jennifer also declared her hatred for Trump and anyone who represents or votes for him. Can I say something? Can I say something? I just want to say something. Let me say something. I know you guys listen. Let me do it. Could it be that the gentleman that is with this Jennifer, that he's either a soy boy, a simp, or he's acting like a feminist in order to get in Jennifer's pants? Because wait, just hear me out. Wait, hear me out. The reason I say this is because I cannot imagine a man of any value, sitting in a car alongside a 38-year-old woman, him being a 45 years. He's 45 years old, okay? It's not old, but it's darn sure too old to be acting like that. A 45-year-old man with a 38-year-old woman, and sitting in a car blasting F Donald Trump, and him thinking, yeah, this is a man thing to do. To stand, park in front of another man's home and blast music to antagonize him because the woman that's sitting in the car with me likes Kamala Harris. So we're just going to blast it. This is, this is where men are so important and necessary. Men, like real men, not this. This is not manly behavior at all. I cannot imagine my husband thinking that this would be something that we should do on a fine afternoon. My husband would be like, I have better things to do. I need to make money. Can you imagine me? Honey, can we go blast like F Kamala Harris songs in front of people who are going to vote for Kamala? He'd be like, don't you have something better to do? Where's my food? Don't you have something to do? Where is my food? My clothes are dirty. Why don't you go do something, sweep the floor? Because that's what men do. Men don't have time to be sitting in front of another man's house blasting music. This is stupid. Hi, Celine. Hi, Celine. How are you? But it's stupid, isn't it, Celine? Celine, tell me that isn't stupid. Another man sitting in front of another man's house blasting F Donald Trump just because that man is a Trump supporter. This is so stupid. All right, next. Let's move. Aaron. Fix, don't you say a thing. Don't. She says, I'm not sure I should say what I think. You should not. Fix. Sometimes silence is golden. Duct tape is silver, if you know what I mean. Fix. Silence is golden. Duct tape is silver. That's all I'm saying. I hope you get the hint, Fix. Now, moving on. Now, here is a victim statement. There's a victim statement from this incident. One of the homeowners told the police that Jennifer, that she was screaming at them as the men approached the vehicle, and she revealed that she had been at their home several times before that day. The man claimed that he fired his gun in self-defense and he was not charged. Listen, I hear him, but I believe that is a fib. I believe that is a complete lie. There is no way that he shot at that man's car in self-defense. When he went outside to go to this man's car, listen, I love my Trump supporters. I love the Second Amendment, but let's not lie. It was not self-defense. He did it because he was tired. He was sick and tired of them antagonizing him, and I understand him completely. But anyway, so here we go. So he claimed that he fired his gun in self-defense and he was not charged. And as for the two imbeciles inside the vehicle, the 45-year-old gentleman and the 38-year-old woman, their bond was set at $20,000. And as of Thursday, they're still behind bars. They're still in jail because they have no monies. They have no money. No money, honey. No money, no honey. And the thing is, why don't they ask Kamala Harris to help get them out? I mean, they were doing her footwork, weren't they? Weren't they working for Kamala? You would think that Kamala would come to their rescue. I guess not. I guess they don't care as much about this F Donald Trump stuff either. Anyway, LGBTQIA plus pedos plus everything sick news. Are you guys ready? This is our last segment. Wait. Okay. This is our last segment. Come on. What else would I think? Seriously, Fiona, I need a sandwich. I'm hungry. I'm losing weight. My husband says that all the time when he feels like I'm not working enough. I'm losing weight. I'm like, oh. But anyway, here we go. LGBTQIA plus pedos plus everything sick. The federal court has nailed a teacher for teaching LGBTQ material without parental consent. A Pennsylvania-based federal court ruled that first grade teacher first grade. I thought we were talking about high school. First grade. How old are first graders? Hold on, let me see. Six to 7 years old is a first grader. 6 to 7 years. All right. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm okay. I'm good. A Pennsylvania-based federal court ruled that first grade teacher Megan Williams violated parental rights by teaching her students about transgender identity without their parents' consent. The teacher read transgender books to the class, which caused confusion among the students, as it should. Williams also told her students that when children are born, parents make a guess of whether they're a boy or a girl. Sometimes your parents are wrong. All right. Leaders of Jefferson Elementary School and the district were also named in the lawsuit that has been brought on by the parents. Good job. Court documents revealed that books with titles like When Aiden Became a Brother and Introducing Teddy, a gentle story about gender and friendship. Williams, the teacher, also used her personal life to bolster the books. All right. I'm losing it. Guys, I'm losing it. All right. The teacher also used her personal life to bolster the books by revealing to students that her own child transitioned starting their own child transitioned and started using pronouns the same week she read Teddy to her class. Her story caused confusion among the children and upset one of them, who responded to William saying, "But I am a boy. I don't want to be a girl." The teacher responded back to the boy saying, "Yes, you are. Talk to your parents about that." You guys think that we need cameras? You guys think that we need cameras inside of classrooms? Because when this was offered, the idea of having cameras inside of classrooms, there have been people pushing back against that, saying that it's a breach of privacy to put cameras in classrooms, saying that it's uncomfortable. It would be uncomfortable for students to learn if there are cameras in the classrooms. But at this point, we need cameras, priests. Well, never mind, not the priests. We need cameras. We need God. We need God in school again. We definitely do. We need that for sure. We need whippings for both children and adults at this point. We need morals inside of classrooms. I listen, we wouldn't need cameras if the teachers weren't trying to screw up the heads of children. You are there to teach them to read, write, and add. And you are trying to tell a little boy that he's see, I can't. Listen, I don't need this. I don't need this right now. I was having a good mood today. I'm having a good mood. No God in school. That lets the Satan. Oh my gosh, no religion at all. Listen, I would agree with you, Shadow, but I went to Catholic school. As a Muslim, I went to Catholic school for the majority of my school years. And I tell you what, there's nothing better than being in school and praying together. There's nothing better than that. You don't need to be of the same religion to pray together. You really don't. Praying is bringing good, pure energy to a room, to a building, to the people. There's nothing better than praying with your school in the morning. It brings unity. I would agree with you, Shadow, but I don't agree with you. Another thing about religion is that it brings discipline to the schools. My school was very disciplined, and a lot of it was religion based. And like I said, me as a Muslim in a Catholic school, what they say, spare the rod, spoil the child. The rod was not spared, and the children were not spoiled. We were disciplined. We were respectful. We prayed together. We broke bread together. We learned the lessons of the Bible alongside of learning about science, writing, reading, everything else that we needed to learn. I think religion is good in school. I do. I just do. And Shadow, that's from experience. That's not me as an outsider saying, I think we should bring God. No. I lived it. So for me, take it from somebody who lived it. Whipping for adults. Listen, at this point, aren't there some adults that need some whippings? Because a lot of adults today grew up with the only timeout system. A lot of the adults that we see today never have gotten whipped. They've never gotten spanked. They don't know what it feels like. I believe that there are some whippings for adults that need to happen because they missed them in childhood. We can make up for them still. We can still make up for those whippings. We can. Exactly, Jeremy Lee. If police need body cam, so should every government official to be worn and on when in tax paid property. I agree. We are paying the taxes. We are the ones funding the schools. We should have every right to know what is going on in that school, what they are teaching the children, and what is happening daily. We should know. You're right, Jeremy Lee. We do have a right to know because we're the ones funding it. So yeah, I agree with you, Jeremy Lee. Thank you. That's a great point. We need the 10 Commandments in classrooms. Nothing went wrong with us reciting the 10 Commandments at school when I was a kid. There was nothing wrong with that. Like I said, there's good values. It's great seeing different religions praying together. It really is. And that's something that I used to ask my parents too when I was a child. I said, wait, but I'm going to Catholic school, but I'm Muslim. They say, God is God. The things that they're telling you in the Catholic school, are those things going against Islam? I would say, no, we're saying the same things. Don't steal. Don't screw your neighbor's wife. Don't murder. Don't disobey and disrespect your parents. Eat right. Live right. These are the things that are taught. So what would be the issue? There's no issue. They're good things. So no. Yes. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Shadow says, oh, you mean private establishments? Yes, private Christian schools and then secular public schools. I disagree, Shadow. I disagree because the reason I say that, Shadow, is because if you see the state of public schools now, public schools are buildings of governmental indoctrination. There is a God in school right now, Shadow. Even in public schools, the secular public schools, there is a God. And the God is the government. The God is what they tell them to teach them. There is a God. There always is a God wherever you go, somewhere. We just don't know what it is. There could be a God, but their God is not the good God. Their God is that of the government and that of the devil. So no, I believe that we should still have God in public schools as well. The state of public schools is so bad. Have you guys seen public schools? There's no discipline. There's no respect. There's barely any teaching going on. They pass the students without them even knowing how to read or write or what have you. They still pass them along because they don't want to deal with them anymore. They want to just get them off of their books. And I understand that completely. But these are the type of adults that we're making. So, no, I believe that, yes, God should be in the school. I do. You said, mind you, a kid smacked his teacher in front of the classroom. And you see, and that is not even that uncommon. It's not that uncommon. John Doe says, you just don't need a teacher's political point of view to teach math. I don't understand why. And the thing is, did you guys see that one school that was, there was a teacher and she asked students, she said, students, it's election year. If you were adults, who would you vote for? And then she let all the children make a mock election inside of the classroom. And there were 3 students who said Trump because they have good parents and they come from 2-parent homes. But anyway, 3 students voted Trump and the other ones voted Democrat. And the teacher treated those 3 students biased after that. She treated them biasly after that. She pulled them aside. She admonished them for daring to vote for Trump. She asked them, why would you vote for someone that is so racist and intolerant? And the kids was like, they were like, you asked our opinion and now you're punishing me for having an opinion that doesn't agree with yours. So What did Carrie say? I missed what Carrie said. Neil says, a moment of silence each morning for each student to pray to whatever deity in whichever format they may choose, or none at all, should offend no one. Jeremy Lee says, doesn't Islam say to learn the other religions? Yes. We are supposed to learn and learn from other religions as well. Aaron, do you want to join Fix in the Naughty Corner? You want to join her? Because you guys can hold hands and go to the... We are not... Oh my gosh, you two are so bad right now. I'm sure there's only one God. That's what I believe too. But what I must also agree with is this. If we are not praying to a holy God, then we are praying to an evil one. What I mean by that is there's people who pray to money. That money is their God. There's people that not pray to it, but that money is their God, essentially. That all they think about or they live for is for money, or all they think about or live for is for lust or greed or sex or what have you. You know, those things can become sort of your God, is what I'm saying. And I believe that in the secular schools, the God that is present in the secular schools is the government, that the government is their God, because the government is deciding that our children need to learn and be taught about LGBTQIA plus POs plus everything sick. That those type of lessons and lessons about race are more important than learning about science, math, history. And the government also changes history so that the children are confused. They don't know. And all they know is America is bad and all of these things. So this is why I say, if God is not present, humans will make another God. And that God may be money. It could be drugs. It could be sex. It could be anything. That's what I mean by that. Right. Evil. Again. Exactly. Lucifer is on the ballot with the Mormons running against Trump. What is going on in here? What are you guys talking about? Yes, there it is. There it is. That's what I meant. False worship. False worship. Worshiping these false idols like money and lust, and even people worshiping the other sex. You know what I'm talking about? Where there are people who are obsessed with the other sex. Like there's men who are just obsessed with women and fiending and lusting for them, and then there's women who are obsessed with men, trying to get with married men. They want men that can't be touched. You know what I mean? Like there's some women that are obsessed with, if they see a man that has a wedding ring on, that they want that man. They want the, not the unknown, what is that word, the prohibited, the thing that you're not supposed to have. So the man has a wedding ring and they want him automatically. This is what I'm talking about. That essentially is your God at this point, and that is what disgusts me. Hold on guys, 1 second. I'm gonna be, yes, thank you, Shadu. The forbidden fruit, the unobtainable. Yes. And that's why I said there's people who are just and putting anything before God. That's right. I think we're all guilty of that. I know, Zealage, but to them, to the government, this is not useless at all. It is very useful, because what they're doing is creating people, rewiring their brains from young to focus on things that are unimportant rather than being intelligent, able, I'm not going to say able-minded. You can say able-minded, but being people who can think for themselves, they don't want that. They want these people to be obsessed with race, obsessed with um, gender, sexuality, trying to not be offensive. Don't be offensive. Have you guys seen? Have you guys seen a lot of people, I would say, who are just coming out of high school? I know that sounds weird for me to ask you guys. Have you guys seen the fresh out of high school people? Have you guys looked at them recently? But if you talk to any of them, they are all so afraid of being offensive when it comes to race or something like that. They're just so obsessed with it. And it's like, you can't even have jokes anymore. Jokes don't exist because everybody's so sensitive and so afraid. They're very emotional. All of them are so emotional and so triggered for nothing, for the most minute thing, the most trivial things. They get triggered. They're emotionally and mentally unstable. And and I think it's all by design. And I wonder, why would the government want a whole generation of people like that? What would be beneficial to the government to have a whole generation of easily triggerable, emotionally unstable people? What could you do with people like that? I know it makes it easier to make them do what you want them to do, because if you tell them things like, remember that racism is the worst thing in the world, you learned that in school, Trump is a racist. So what does that tell you to do? To vote against it. Good job. You've been studying. It makes you easier to control. I can control you by saying, oh, the other person's racist. And you've been learning this all through school, that racism is bad and you're so scared to be offensive. Ooh. So then you're easily, you know what I mean? That's what I think it is. And then another thing is about the gender stuff. I believe that that's all population control. I do. I believe that this whole gender thing and telling children that you can be this or you can be that is influencing them to be open to taking hormones, to changing their gender, supposedly, which makes them infertile, which also decreases their chances of reproducing or having a family. Because if they want to reproduce, they're going to have to find a surrogate. And you find a surrogate, and then who knows if it, all of these things, I believe, are connected. You're making a whole generation of easily controllable people because they're easily triggered and easily offended. And then on the other hand, they make themselves infertile. We don't have to make them infertile. We don't have to inject them with anything. They do it to themselves because they've been taught that it's all fluid and there's no consequences when you do these things. That is all benefits. So anyway, why are people like that? You have to get more specific. I don't understand that question. Larry says, well, not in Italy. Guys, we all need to make a, you guys want to take a field trip? You guys want to take a field trip? Let's go to Italy. All of us together. All together now. Jeremy says, true, but the Mormons allowed it in their state. America is not on a good path. Not from what I heard. I think it was like a month ago, we had the Mormons in our news with Larry. Thank you, Larry. But we had the Mormons in our news because the Mormons said that they would no longer have anybody that's in their community who is gay or confused about their gender or what have you. They said that the Mormon church will not allow them to be around women or children or any sex alone. And they cannot share bathrooms. They cannot come to social events where there's women and children and so on and so forth, which basically ostracizes them from pretty much everything in the community. And I think that was the purpose of those rules that the Mormons set. So I don't know what you mean by they allowed it, because they have changed their rules. And that was recently. That was just last month. We just talked about it. So I got to understand what you're talking about, Jeremy Lee. Oh, Shadow, you didn't even know what he asked. We don't even know exactly what the question was. And you already answered. He's like, because people are degenerate, worthless animals, and the liberals are just that. He started ranting. Shadow, all right, you know what? I'm going to put the chat, and I'm going to put the link to the chat in the comment section. Hold on. If anybody wants to join me, you can. Yeah, I'll be here for another 20 minutes. So if anybody wants to join me, you can. There's the link to this stream, I guess. So that's the link to the stream. And oh my God. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and rant.
Well, hello to you too.
Welcome in. Because I know you want to rant. So go ahead. Say what you were going to say to Ryan. So here's the question from Ryan. Why are people like that, Shadow? Go.
I'm assuming he was talking about all the trans stuff, and ultimately it's liberalism. It's the belief that freedom and equality matters more than anything else. So if you have a sense of authority, whether that be your parents, your government, whatever it is, telling you what you can and cannot do, that is inherently evil. So you must be able to do whatever you want, including violating the laws of nature. See, nature is established by, you and I were both religious in some capacity, a higher power. Under liberalism, all authority is evil. That higher power, therefore, is evil. So if you violate the laws of that higher power, being how you were born, man, woman, that gives you power changing your gender is the ultimate freedom in that context. And then because all people want to do good because they think they are good, will try to spread that to children. So they will expose children to these ideas thinking, hey, this is good for you, even though it is self-destructive, in the same vein that someone might expose a child to alcohol or drugs if they think it's something good. There's my rant. That's one rant. Sorry, Carrie.
You know what? that is a great, because you said something that stood out to me. You said, because everybody thinks that they're good.
Yeah.
Because everybody inherently thinks that what they think is correct. Because why would you think it if it wasn't correct? You know what I mean? You wouldn't
Absolutely.
believe it if you didn't think it was correct. So everybody inherently thinks that they're good. So they are going to try to pass down whatever they are doing to the younger because, right.
Yep.
Okay. That makes sense.
And then when the context of that, what I think is good is absolute freedom, even freedom against God, state, even parents, then they're going to do things that challenge God, state, or God, country, and family. Like changing your gender, or saying you can change your gender by attacking people on the street, defying the laws of government, telling you to ignore your parents and their wills upon you, like what teachers do to children. Ultimately, all the acts of lawlessness are just inherently religious to the left.
But somebody in the chat, Fionn, brought up a good point. He said, I know people who know that they're bad. There are people, we have to admit, like Yuri Bezmenov, like they know that what they are doing will cause destruction and chaos and so on and so forth. And they do it anyway because they have an agenda. So do you think, okay, here's my thing to you. I believe that this all started as an agenda to cause chaos and destruction. But because so many people believed in this agenda because they believed it was good, now those people believe it's actually a good thing and they continue it on because they believe it's good. But inherently, it was actually bad and it was started for a bad purpose, a bad, evil, malignant purpose.
I believe it was a couple of Frenchmen coming up with certain viewpoints on the world in response to very horrific circumstances, finally having the opportunity for freedom, and then a really messed up game of telephone resulting in modern day liberalism, which is basically just fascism mixed with equality and progressivism.
And critical theory.
critical race theory, that too. Well, that I would say falls under equality.
That is, Fionn says, Shadu, that is a violation of the first commandment, making a God that tolerates their sin. Ooh, Fionn, you are, oh my gosh, Fionn and Jeremy are on fire today. I love you guys so much. You and Jeremy are doing so well. And so is, who's the person that asked you the question? Ryan. So, okay, here we go. That is a violation of the first commandment, making a God that tolerates their sin. What is it called? Blasphemy? Not blasphemy. Taking false idols or something like that, right? Worshipping false idol.
Yes, that sounds correct.
So that is a violation of the first commandment because you are making a system that tolerates their sin. And not only that, they actually make it so that Christianity, the God of the Christians, or not the God of the Christians, they're trying to say to Christians that God made no mistakes. So that if there are faggots on this planet, that's because God made it so. And that if God made it so, we should tolerate it in the church. Meaning that what we have in the Bible is wrong. Where in the Bible it says that this is an abomination.
Yes.
So this is why men can get married to other men inside of Christian churches today, which is the ultimate disrespect and middle finger to God.
Yeah, and what's really funny to me is that line of logic is incredibly easy to counter if you have any sort of sense or brain cells. The argument that, oh, well, God made me this way, ergo I must act this way. Okay, so you're saying that a man who has violent compulsions and cannot physically control himself, are you saying he's just allowed to act on those compulsions? And yes, I'm using an incredibly extreme example to bring my point home. If your argument is that I cannot control the urges of my flesh, ergo that must be a moral good thing, then you excuse all acts based on the urges of the flesh. Just because you were born homosexual does not give you the moral carte blanche under the eyes of God. If you don't believe in God, if you don't believe in the moral tenets of the Bible, okay, let's have a different discussion there. But if you are going to appeal to my sensibilities as a Christian and say God, with the assumption God exists, with the assumption that the Bible is the truth of the world, and you're going to try to use that as an argument for why you should get a Christian marriage even if you are a homosexual, it doesn't make any sense because your argument is that the pleasures of the flesh or the call of the flesh is of equal moral weight to the word of God, which is not. Humans are damaged, degenerate animals. And I'm echoing. There we go. Am I echoing now?
That's essentially making us as humans gods. Because you're basically saying us of the flesh, we are of equal standing with God's power, us as flesh. So that means we're gods too. That's basically what you're saying. Because if we can... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's basically the end point of the traditional liberal ideology. Ultimately, the idea that if you have total freedom and do not have to supplicate yourself to any authority, God is an authority. Ergo, under liberalism, you don't even need to supplicate to God. Thus, you yourself are a god because you are his equal. So you can do whatever you want. That is the ultimate endpoint of liberalism.
Is to make us into the gods.
Yes, into making yourself something of worship, being your own personal worship. And ultimately, if you do an act in the name of God, and if you do an act in the name of God's word, and it's actually, in God's word, and it's not some kind of political BS that you are justifying with saying God said I can, then that is not an evil act. So if you declare yourself God and every action you do moral under the auspices of God being you, then you can do no wrong.
Tell me guys in the chat, tell me we don't see that happening today in today's society, that we can do no wrong. We can change anything into what we want it to be. Whatever we feel like is the right way. What is a woman? What is a man? What is anything? It's whatever we feel it is. We can change reality into what we want it to be. So what is real and what is fake and what is a God? What does God do if he has no control over what I do, right? He has no control. God made me a woman, but what does he know? I'm actually a man. He doesn't know anything. God said that men can't have children, but what does he know? I can put a woman's uterus inside of a man and make a man have a baby. You know they're doing that, right? You heard about that?
Sadly. Also, I find it really funny that we continue in this push for liberalism and transhumanism, that we actively move against the existence of women by allowing us to basically grow children in vats or to augment men with uteruses. We remove the need for women. So eventually, we may become a species. If we continue down this transhumanist line, we may become a species that lacks women, because ultimately, if you can remove, under the purely logical atheistic worldview, if you can remove women from the process, why would you not remove an unnecessary part from the process?
Ooh.
And I'll step off my soapbox and let other people speak. I've been talking too much.
No, you can stay on the soapbox for a little bit longer.
Thank you.
By the way, he hasn't been procreating like you told him to.
Well, I was just getting ready to get on that because Carrie just reminded me. Where is your first ex-wife? Huh?
Would you consider this a civil court or a criminal court?
Well, you listen. We are not in sovereign citizen court. Listen here.
I will take that as criminal court, and I will plead the fifth.
You will not do such. You will listen to me, and you will listen good. We had an agreement.
I never signed any legal papers.
Do as you're told, boy.
I was voluntold.
It was a tacit agreement. Do you know what a tacit agreement is?
I am illiterate, ma'am. I don't know what that is.
It is a silent agreement, meaning that your silence was an agreement to what I just said. So you did that back in January, and here we are rolling up on December, okay? And I don't see nobody pregnant, and I don't see no ring on your finger. I don't even see any prospects. There hasn't even been a woman next to you yet. You failing us all, Shadow. You failing us.
Okay, 2 points. First, if there was someone in my life, I would probably keep them away from the internet due to the
You wouldn't keep them away from your big sister, now would you? Listen,
I would bring it up in like DMs and stuff like that, but I wouldn't showcase that on like streams.
But you haven't done it.
Yes, and that's the second point I'm getting to. I have no real defense, so I'll just take the verbal beating. I'll just take the verbal. I will just take the whipping full force. That scene from Starship Troopers where Rico gets strung up and he takes 10 lashes publicly. I'll take that. I've got no defense, Your Honor. I plead guilty on all counts.
Listen, wait. Well, you have until December to get a potential. And until then, me, Larry, Samael, and Carrie will be deciding your fate. We don't know how many lashings you will get yet, but it's to be decided. So who is coughing?
Sorry, that was
not me.
No, I'll take the plaque.
Well, Neil, you've been quiet for a while. What's on your mind, buddy?
Oh, lots of things. This has been very interesting discussion. I wanted to disagree a little bit with Shadow on the idea that liberals are anti-authoritarian. I think they're very authoritarian. The trouble they have with a religious authority, the idea that there is a God, is that's an authority that they can't control, and they absolutely hate that. I came to the conclusion that liberals are fundamentally authoritarian some years ago, because I noticed that liberals, when they deign to actually argue a point and discuss with you, they refer to some authority figure to prove their point, rather than arguing on the merits of the position. Whereas conservatives argue the merits of the position and will refer to authority if there is a mutually accepted authority between the parties in the discussion. So, and because liberals are fundamentally authoritarian in their outlook and their thought patterns, that is the reason that they devolve to and always wind up in an authoritarian form of government. It's the only way they know to do things.
I just want to clarify something. I was not speaking to the American political definition of liberal. I was speaking to the philosophical label of liberal. I do agree with you that American liberals are, and I'm not using this term lightly, are 100% fascistic. They have traded God, country, and family for progress, equality, and equity as their like rallying cries, and they actively worship the state. They actively seek state control in all aspects of their lives. Everything about the political American liberal is fascistic, but I was earlier speaking about the philosophical angle, and I apologize.
I'll give you that.
I apologize for the miscommunication on my part. I probably should have been a bit clearer.
Well, I think that they've replaced all of those things that you mentioned with insanity, lunacy, and stupidity. Blindy, how are you?
Yourself?
Hi, Blindy.
Hey, what's going on?
Howdy, man. How you doing?
Hey, I was going to suggest, Amira, you want to go take Shadow down to the Philippines and find him a wife?
No, because he's supposed to be making white babies, pure white babies. He knows that he is not to bring me home any brownies at all. He has to bring home only white, and that's what the agreement was. Shadow, you letting me down.
I'm going to Taipei for 2 weeks in December. Would Asian count?
Oh no, it does not. Because how are we
good.
supposed to replenish America's white blood if you keep bringing in foreigners?
I have not done any of that.
Okay, then well, don't start. Okay, we're gonna make America great again. And Shadow, you need to start it. You need to get the ball rolling. You know,
You're letting
set
us
an
down,
example.
Troy.
Yes, I am actively doing that. That is correct.
Poor Shadow. We put the weight of America on him.
No poor Shadow. Absolutely no poor Shadow. Genghis Khan had almost died, I think, like 3 times by the time he was my age. Caesar did... Oh, crap, what was it that Caesar... He hadn't conquered Gaul yet, but he did something at the age of 20 that just wasn't as... And Alexander the Great had an empire at 20. I'm
You're failing.
behind on... yeah, exactly. I am failing. I'm behind the curve.
You didn't even get your queen yet. I mean, you haven't even done the first step.
Tell you what, double or nothing. By 25, I break a country.
Neither did Alexander. He didn't have a queen yet at that age either.
Oh,
he did have an Eros, though. He did have an Eros.
Technically, most of them are standing on the accomplishments or established foundations by those before them, but we're still going to blame you regardless.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Categorically. Alexander had Philip. Actually, Genghis Khan did pull himself up by his bootstraps. His accomplishments far exceeded his. The only thing his father gave him. The only thing his father gave him was a marriage contract. That was about it. Caesar,
his loins were the blueprint for Viagra. Oh, Blindy, what's your opinion on the topic?
Listen.
Which one?
On what topic? On the fact that his loins were the blueprint for Viagra? What topic are we talking about that we're asking?
Topic of, liberalism and the things that are going on today. A response
sorry,
to what Neil said. Neil gave a great that was a great take. I agree with what you were saying. Shadow clarified, but you hit the nail on the head because I'm seeing a lot of that too. In fact, I actually mentioned earlier that there was an interview with Tulsi Gabbard, and the interviewer asked her, he said, why are Democrats attacking certain religious people? And she said, to keep it simple, people who believe they want to be God, the Democrats and left, they want to be God. And they know that people who believe in a higher power is not going to accept them as that higher power, and it's just my opinion. It's the old Democrat playbook of get people, you train people and you get them to screw themselves up so that you don't, so that they can step back and their hands stay clean, but you train them to continue to destroy themselves. And I believe we're seeing a lot of that. They've gotten into the schools. You heard the news report I read earlier, and I actually trimmed the list down. There was some stories today that I was like, we'll never get her out of here. She'll have a meltdown on air if I put them up. So I took them off. But Blindy, what's your take on current events?
One second. Before we do that, I want to share something with you all, and we can talk about this, okay? So I want you all to mute for me. I want to share a video with you guys. It's just a clip. It's just a quick clip, and we can watch some of it. It's a few highlights from the Kamala Harris Bayer interview. Hold on, wait a second.
Do not make me listen to this again. Please, no, please.
No,
mercy.
wait, no. I need to because I didn't see it. I didn't watch it fully. I just watched a few clips that were sent to me. So I want to see a few pieces. So hold on.
I'm grabbing a drink. Hold on.
An interview with Fox News as vice president.
And with less than 3 weeks to the election day, the Democratic nominee trying to make the case that she offers a new way forward despite being in power the last 3.5 years.
If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
So it was a tense interview at times as Harris tried to dodge some questions and point.
So wait, so he said, what about the 3 years you've been in office? And the first thing she said was Donald Trump. What? First thing that she said was Donald Trump.
The blame toward Donald Trump. Toward the end of the interview, though, Brett says it had to quickly be wrapped up.
There are critics who look at what the administration did and say and think differently. Madam Vice President, they're wrapping me very hard here. I hope you got to say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. There are a lot of things.
There's more to say. I have much more to say.
Madam Vice President,
and
they're giving me a hard rap.
Well, I thank you for the time.
Okay. Prior to that moment, Harris faced several tough, direct questions like how her presidency would differ from the current Biden-Harris administration.
So you're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. And like every new president that comes into office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership. I, for example, am someone who has not spent the majority of my career in Washington, D.C.
Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years. So what are you turning the page from?
Well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we have been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country and have Americans literally point fingers at each other.
Madam Vice President, more than 70% of people.
Wait, at least we're pointing fingers and not guns, okay? She's talking about, oh, Donald Trump makes people point fingers. Well, your rhetoric makes people point guns. Oh my God.
That is about turning the page on rhetoric that people are frankly exhausted of, Brett.
You've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade, people have become, but listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me, the former chief of staff to the president, Donald Trump, former defense secretaries, national security advisor, and his vice president, one, that he is unfit to serve, that he is unstable, that he is dangerous.
So when we had Brett Baer on yesterday to preview the big conversation with Kamala Harris, one of the things I noted is that what Brett Baer is.
I don't know if you guys want to hear his commentary. I just want to hear the interview. So I'm going to jump a little bit past. Here we go.
Honest.
Oh.
She didn't meet the sense of wanting to fight back.
But where she said, but I haven't been able to support that.
They're still talking.
There's a known filibuster.
Talk too
as
much.
a drinking game before it started. And you said, okay.
They talk too much. Is that it? Oh, here it is. Okay, here we go. To right there. Okay.
Transition to another gender.
I will follow the law. And it's a law that Donald Trump actually followed. You're probably familiar with, now it's a public report, that under Donald Trump's administration, these surgeries were available on a medical necessity basis to people in the federal prison system. And I think, frankly, that ad from the Trump campaign is a little bit of like throwing stones when you're living in a glass house.
The Trump aides say that he never advocated for that prison policy and no gender transition surgeries
you know what? You got to take responsible for what happened in your administration.
Yeah, no surgeries happened in his presidency.
It's in black and white.
Would you still advocate for using taxpayer dollars for gender reassignment
I will
surgeries?
follow the law.
Obviously, she didn't answer Ainsley the yes or no question, which is, do you?
Yeah. So what does follow the law mean when you're the one who is going to be, trying to make the laws? You're the one who's, so you don't need to follow any law. You can actively ask for laws to be created. So why don't you just say your point of view, say your position, instead of saying, I'm going to follow what you guys, you know what? I don't think I need to watch that interview. The reason I don't is because I heard many clips and I've seen this. All she does is refer back to Donald Trump every time she's asked or pressed on anything. You guys saw
that's the California Democrat way. When I used to live there, the entire time that he was in office, when the politicians were running, that's all they were talking about was him. Everything was his fault. And what she means by, I believe she means by, I will follow the law. I believe she means I will follow the executive orders that I'm going to implement that will most likely be in violation of the Constitution and who knows what else, and expect everybody to follow suit.
Jeremy
what
Lee,
happened to Neil?
Go to the naughty corner. We sadly lost him. He's a casualty. Hopefully he'll be revived. But Jeremy Lee, go to the naughty corner. Go, Carrie, take care of that. Her life experience is to sleep with someone to get what she wants. Why do you think Putin is hoping she wins? He wants her negotiation.
Well, that's a true statement, though. And she was right when she said that she hasn't been in Washington, D.C. for long. She spent majority of her career on her back in California.
Larry, do you want to join Jeremy in the naughty corner? Because that
Blondie, do you have a comment?
Yeah, I want to tell Amir I'd like to cancel my free trial of the naughty corner while we sit around and watch Kamala Harris talk.
Listen, your trial cannot be unsubscribed to. You can't. It is what it is.
Is that what the
Amir's like Disney? Amir's like Disney. You sign up for a subscription service under her name, and then suddenly she could accidentally kill you, and your family doesn't get recompense.
Okay. Listen, don't put that out about me. Just because I do that to you doesn't mean I'm going to do that to everybody else.
Wait, hold on. What?
Neil,
that's in my contract. Hold on, that's actually in my contract.
Wait, while you're doing that, Settle, let's get to Neil because he dropped off. We didn't get a chance to get his comment on the videos.
Go ahead.
On Kamala Harris's interview with Brett.
Yes, sir.
I had seen parts of that before. It went silent for most of the time that we were trying to show it here, and then it went squeaky voiced, which is probably appropriate for her. But she pretty much, even though Bear tried to pin her down, she pretty much successfully avoided actually answering any question and was always trying to divert to, well, Trump is doing this, Trump is doing that. And Bear would come back with, that's not what I asked you. I asked you, what are you going to do? Because you've been doing, so, and there was a Sky News Australia clip where a guy played Biden's statement about how Harris was closely involved with every decision he made, that she was part of it, that their two staffs were interlocked like fingers of two hands. She was part of everything. And the Sky News host felt he was pretty much throwing her under the bus because she's been trying to distance herself from him. But she's trying to have it both ways. Well, I wasn't the president, so I wasn't in charge, but I was part of every decision he made. So, you
Talk
know,
about
she's kind
both
of
sides
stuck
of the
with that tar baby, if I can use that horribly racist term, which has nothing to do with color, has to do with tar being sticky. But she can't really get rid of it because she claimed it. You know, she herself has said that she's been, you know, in interviews where they ask you, would you have done anything different? Nope, can't think of anything. I mean, the Trump campaign should just put that on all their posters. She can't think of anything she would have done differently in the last 4 years. It's like, really?
That would require her to be able to think.
It would be.
They're saying online that there are people labeling Kamala a psycho for being obsessed with Trump. Yeah, there's a news contributor talking about how she's a psycho because she's so obsessed with Trump that she can't think about anything but Trump. After this interview, you know what? The thing is, she wasn't doing any interviews at all. And now all of a sudden she's doing all the interviews and trying to be out there and going to even Fox News. Doesn't that look like desperation?
Yes, it absolutely is desperation. In every single interview she gives, she drops points because she doesn't have that. She doesn't have a plan. It's very clear she does not have a plan. She would basically just be Biden 2.0. Well, Obama 3.0, really. In regards to her policy making. What was it?
Obama at least had charisma. So whatever he was saying, at least people were buying it. Whereas between Biden and Harris, there's like really no real charisma there. So,
well, I can tell you what, the brothers didn't buy what Obama said last week.
Nope, I've seen that. Trump's points rose after he gave that speech, which was beautiful. And then it also ties into the fact that like you can pull the like charismatic, well-spoken angle, and then like a few things like I'm gonna do these minor social things that don't actually have much of an effect or are actively detrimental but look nice when people are able to afford groceries, when people aren't being invaded by savage barbarosi, when everything is going good. Like housing crisis, that was a bad start for Obama's presidency, but ultimately his 8 years were arguably part of America's, I wouldn't say golden age, but part of good times for America. And so he could afford to make certain decisions.
No, Shadu, no.
He did not. No. He did not make the times good. It just happened that those times were good. Our golden age was the 50s to 70s when we could have cemented our imperial right over the world, and we chose not to because we're weak.
During Obama's term, now you were just maybe 3 years old, but I was at least 5. I was at least 7. So listen, I know more than you about this. Listen. I know more about this. So listen, during Obama's time, we had the 2008 collapse. We had the all America was all over the Middle East. We were in wars. We were killing Americans killing Americans in the Middle East. These weren't good times, but they were covered up by nice words and charisma. That was also the time that he's in 2013 where he said, oh, gay marriages is legal in America and all of that. These were part of the worst times of American history, but we never knew because it was all covered up and it was all swept under the rug by the media. And we were always given this nice charismatic face of Obama. So everything felt like it was good. It seemed like it was good, but it wasn't.
Right. Socially, it was a bad time. However, because everything was economically fine and you weren't being presented the problems in your day-to-day life. See, if something happens in the Middle East, the average American isn't going to know about it. They're going to have to get it filtered through the stream. They're going to find out about what's going on through the news. If there's something going on with gay marriage, back then, gays were not as open in everyone's face. So if something happened with the gay community, people wouldn't really notice or care unless it was in their immediate sphere, which again could be more suppressed. But in the current state of affairs, the issues are I can't afford groceries. Everyone is talking about that. Everyone is suffering that problem. So the media going, groceries aren't actually expensive. People can call bull. The argument of, oh, well, there's actually no illegal immigration. You're just a racist. When you can go down to a Home Depot or you can see videos on Twitter of people swimming the Rio Grande or jumping over fences or see videos of people eating cats, again, they can't just lie because you can see the problems.
Shadu, 2008 happened. 2008 was a thing.
Well, that wasn't Obama. That was not. We can't lay that at Obama's feet. That was honestly banks and Americans being stupid. Everything else, yes, that's
but
Obama.
you said it was all social. You said it was all social, and I'm trying to tell you it wasn't all social. There was nothing. But Larry, what were you going to say? Neil, can you stop coughing into the stream? I'm going to mute you. You're getting muted until you stop coughing.
Well, I remember 2008 very vividly.
I'll mute
and it was some of the worst times to look for a job. I was still in the military. Well, at that point, I got out of active duty and I was in the reserves, and so I was privy to a lot of stuff that wasn't being filtered through the media, and Obama did a lot of things that I didn't agree with. A lot of us didn't agree with, and I mean that's all I really want to say about that I can't say, other than Amir, you're right. A lot of things were swept under the rug by the media, as far as just the damage that man was causing, the division that he was causing. I'll use what was his name? Trayvon. Was it Trayvon Martin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When he came out and he said, Trayvon could have been my son, and it's like, that was just my opinion. That was the last thing that you should say as the president of the United States.
Thank you. That's like, you've never seen any white president say that. If there was an American who was white who passed away, well, that could have been my kid. You've never. Oh.
Right. We lost Neil again.
That's probably what started. We have another casualty again with Neil. It's okay.
Oh, Blindy.
Yeah. I mean,
no. I'm asking.
What happened? That would be outside of the purview of what a president really should be doing. His actual job, or what his function is supposed to be, is not making some social commentary like that about some current event or some thing that happened. While it does definitely have the shadow of like the politics of like with police brutality, whatever that might have been. That's obviously the shadow of like what it was supposed to be about. However, the way he went about it was utterly wrong, and that's kind of more of a Congress thing and doing investigations, etc.
Well, it's a crazy thing because he knew that the Black community was looking to him as one of them. Like, he was a leader of the Black community supposedly, and he used that to spark division and create BLM. And BLM was spawned during his presidency. So it's like all these, they talk about how Trump was so divisive, but they don't speak about all the division that was created under Obama and all the things that happened under Obama. Most of that stuff was started under Obama.
Yeah. The country was divided when Trump came in. And I noticed too that the whole time Trump was in office, there were a lot of people like Snoop Dogg, for example, that were calling that man everything except for his name. And then the moment he left office, some of those same people were back to saying how great of a guy Trump is, and how they always liked him. I mean, Snoop was the first one coming out. Oh man, yeah, he was a great president. He did this and this and this. But you were, the whole 4 years he was in office, you were saying F Donald Trump, and you were saying all these, saying all these things. So, but the division was definitely there. And I saw it. When I was in LA. A lot of things that young white people went through, just the persecution and just the racism. I don't even call it reverse racism. But when that man, when Trump won, you could see the release. They were so happy and they were just jumping up for joy. They couldn't help themselves, especially the college kids. They could not help themselves. And unfortunately, some of them got a little bit too zealous and ended up paying a dear price for that. But yeah, he definitely caused division in this country, and he did some things in the Middle East that definitely didn't help the fact that we were already there, and And for those of you who've never been deployed, I've been overseas, and I can tell you what, just because you could be in a country where you're helping these people, and they'll smile in your face and shake your hand, but that doesn't mean that they really want you there.
100%.
That's right. That's right. And as an Arab, that's why I say, like, we know what he was doing in the Middle East, even during those times. That's why towards the end of his presidency, I was like, you know what? I don't think that this is the man that I think he is. I don't think that Obama is the thing that we're taught that he was, because when I was in school, they taught us that Obama was like a god almost. You know, he could do no wrong. He was perfect. And he was the best thing that ever happened to America. He's the thing that's going to bring America together, when in fact he did the exact opposite. I have to get going. I have 3 minutes. Is there anything that you guys want to say before I go? Because I'm at the 2-hour mark now.
Yeah, folks, check out Suka's new Amira joint on his website. It's a great video.
Okay, all right. Let's so what we need to do is get going now, because Larry, you will not do that to me. You're supposed to be on my team, Larry.
I am on your team. It's a great video.
For the country album to come out.
That's not a bad idea.
I could write lyrics in the hills of Lebanon.
You know what? This is why I don't have no friends. Hi, old Blindy. How are you? You're my new friend. You want to be my channel manager? I'm looking for a new channel manager. You looking for a position? I'm hiring.
How much?
I was about to say that's fine, because Sammy Boy is actually the channel manager, so you go right ahead. Supervisor. You go right ahead and fire Samuel.
You know what? I'm firing both of you at this point. Even Samuel's not even here. He's getting in trouble. He's getting in trouble.
Sam tries to come back. He's lost his French. He's lost access to the StreamYards. Just like, what happened, Larry? So you know how you were telling Amira all that stuff on the stream last night? I wasn't on the stream last night. What did you do?
I know, right? He's gonna be like, "What happened? Why am I fired?"
It's just sheer unadulterated anger coming from that man.
Oh yeah. No, he blamed me for something that I had nothing to do with, and he's been threatening me all week. Man, you better not come on there and say anything. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Are you talking about dropping the link for his OnlySams?
No.
No.
All right.
I apologize. Amira.
Anyway, I'm gonna drop off in the back.
Thank you. It's about time you did something productive for the channel by dropping off. Thank you so much. Poor Larry. But
wild.
Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate the both of you guests. I appreciate you guys very, very much, except Shadow. So Blindy, I'm really talking to you. Blindy, thank you so much for being here. Shadow, you're letting me down.
I have to talk to my fellow Irish person.
But I hate my life. I hate my life.
Off topic. Are you Genghis Khan had red hair? Are you descended from Genghis Khan by chance?
Perhaps.
I did my DNA thing, DNA test, and I already told you guys what happened. It turns out that I'm part Asian, and I don't know where that comes from. So, and that's why Larry was the one who said, well, Genghis Khan had many women and blah, 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 and I don't know. So, because I don't know any Asian family.
Yeah, and because his first wife was taken from him and he got a bastard out of that, his entire succession plan got ruined.
I'm supposed to be blonde right now. I'm supposed to be blonde. But my natural hair color is darker than this, but it's ginger. So when I lighten it, it just turns into a lighter form of ginger. So I'm not getting blonde. I'm trying to be blonde and it's not working because red is so hard to take away. So
have you tried bleaching it, like completely like removing the color?
We did. This is bleached.
That's bleached?
Bleached and it's still red.
Holy crap.
My hair is just because listen, my hair is dark. My hair is dark ginger.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how red it is until I tried to lighten it and it still stays red. It just doesn't.
It looks strawberry blonde, kinda. Does that count?
It's still red.
Scarlett
It's
Johansson.
still red.
Vampires like strawberries, right?
I didn't realize how red my hair is until I started trying to lightening it. So it's fine. It's whatever. I mean, maybe I just let my natural just grow back and just stay dark red. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm light red. So that's awesome.
Just
So
go
anyway.
full Hyrcanian. Just Hyrcanian She-Devil.
What? What is that?
Red Sonja. Like the Conan stuff.
Huh. I gotta check it out. I don't know what that is.
Okay, don't actually go full Red Sonja because her outfits are very provocative. I was more referring.
I just saw her.
more referring to the red hair rather than anything else. I would just like to clarify.
Yeah, you would never see me.
Catholic schoolgirl uniforms.
Yeah. Red Sonja has her nipples hanging out. I don't think.
Yeah, no, I was implying the.
Yeah.
I forgot that I don't really consume mainstream content. I brain farted and thought that name was a lot more common. I am very sorry, Amira.
She's actually rather pretty if she had some clothes on, but
she is. Some of the modern comics, because puritanical comic writers, she actually does have full armor in more modern comics because you can't have women in nothing under the liberal paradigm. I absolutely love how the progressives got so progressive. They became as puritanical as the
next you know she's going to be in a burqa. She's going to be in a burqa. They're like women empowerment. Like,
unironically, I would see that, which defeats the whole point of Red Sonja as a character.
I just don't get it. But I'm waiting for that moment where they go full left. They go so far left that they turn right. I'm going to be like,
I mean, they're already there. They're already fascists.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, playing devil's advocate and somehow assuming that groups like the Nazis were right wing, there are many reasons to say the Nazis were not right wing by the American paradigm, but let's just play devil's advocate. They're already at that line, in my opinion. They just haven't been sworn in with official power. They just haven't gotten emergency war powers yet.
But they don't realize how close to Hitler's ideology they are. They don't realize how close, and they keep saying that Trump is Hitler. And I'm like, Hitler would hate Trump. Hitler would, he would be like, you are accepting these non-whites into your country and calling them Americans because they're born there? Ew.
Well, first he would hate Trump because he isn't a purebred of a specific ethnicity. Like the Nazis and the Japanese were actually not scared of fighting the Americans, because they thought that we were a mongrel race because we just allowed anyone to like marry anyone, more or less. Mm-hmm. So they were like, we could not possibly have individual, like we may be more aggressive than say the Chinese or the French, but we ultimately are of lesser breeding. Thus we are not a threat on the battlefield. So they were less terrified of the Americans. Not realizing that a mongrel street dog is probably more terrifying than your purebred bulldog. And
that's what I say. I'm like, usually when you mix the genes, the better genes of each one usually come to the top. I mean, they said that people who mix more, I'm not saying mixed race, but people who are more diverse genetically, they tend to be stronger. They tend to have better immune systems, tend to be smarter, higher IQs and all this stuff. I'm not talking about racially. I'm talking about But
bear in mind, these are the same people who decided Christianity is weak. Let's go back to the religions that did not win in the court of public opinion, revolutionize them with fascist ideology behind them, and let's call that our new religion. Why are we losing?
Go ahead, old blindy. I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, it's fine. For a breakdown of the Nazi ideology or what they were believing, and with a little bit of looking through the lens of, as you said, the American paradigm between what are modern right and left versus right and left from the 30s and 40s. The YouTube channel, the Metatron,
yes,
mention of him. Did you see the one where he did the breakdown?
I did, and I disagree with I disagree with some of his points. But I do like that video overall.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out.
I'll check it out. It's called Metatron.
So the channel is Metatron, yeah.
Italian guy. He just recently moved here with his his American wife, but he's an Italian scholar. He's been in college. He knows a lot of stuff. He's got a very deep background, and he's not just some jerk off on YouTube with no background when he talks about history and everything. He really knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. And when it's something he doesn't know what he's talking about, he's got a staff of, I think, 6 people, all of them with at minimum a whatever the degree you get for being a graduate.
Degrees and
Yeah.
people.
I need better staff myself. So because apparently my staff is letting me down. Eh?
I mean,
Bye,
no,
guys.
your staff is great. You got an ex-military guy, you got a Canadian, you got Zillage, and you got Sam.
And they're all useless, still useless. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I gotta go. I do gotta go. Okay. I know. I appreciate both of you. Bio Blindy, thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming onto the panel. And Shadow, you have like 40 days and 40 nights. Get it together. Okay.
Double or nothing, break the country by 2025.
Listen, you have until December 20. Okay. Because
December
by
20th.
December 25, we're going to be deciding your fate and how many lashes you're going to be getting. So,
okay, December 20th.
Merry
okay,
Christmas.
I just want to get this like clear legal proceedings for the court for the trial case.
For the record, you mean
what is it exactly I need to do by the 20th?
You need to get a potential. Okay, you need to find.
I can work with that.
Okay, and secure that relationship, and then we'll be talking. Okay.
I get a Bentley if I succeed. All right, thank you, Amira. Goodbye.
Listen, to clear the record. Okay, so the record is clear. I never said that, but like I said, you can get your hiney spared if you secure a relationship. Now, that's it.
All right, valid. I'll take that. Suka, I need you to do some AI stuff so I can get that Bentley. Have a good.
You know what, Suka? If you do anything of the sort, okay, Suka, listen. Okay, thank you guys for joining me today. It has been fun, so fun. I usually don't open the panels anymore, but I'm so glad I did because it was so nice to talk with you all, see you all, and yell at Shadow a little bit because he needs it. He needs at least a monthly admonishment on his failures, which is majority of the time. So he needs that. It keeps him in line. It really does. It really helps him keep focused. So we got to make sure that we do that for our the youngest member of our pride. We have to make sure we do that to, we have to keep the next generation coming in properly. Yeah. So thank you all for joining me. I appreciate you all for being here with me. I have had a great, great time. And one day you guys are going to see me be blonde. I'm going to get there. I don't know how many more rounds of bleach I'm going to have to do, but eventually I'm going to get some of this red off of me. Okay. Thank you all. I will see you all on the next one. And with that, wait. Let me get it together. Okay, here we go. And with that, I yield my time. Good night, everybody. Wait, Beak, I've been looking for you. Where have you been? Beak, I did not. Thank you. Beak, you sent me a birthday present. Thank you so very much. I didn't see it until today because Larry told me to, you understand, check everything. So I didn't see it. Thank you all for the birthday presents that you guys have sent me as well. I appreciate them very, 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 very much. And thank you so much, Beak. I don't have your email, so email me when you get a chance. All right. Bye.